Hey guys, Deborah from Housewife Eclectic here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a Easter wreath for less than 10 bucks. Just using supplies from the dollar store. So it should be fun and easy. This is super easy. I've done some Deco mesh wreath tutorials before, but I thought this one would be fun to show you the different things you can do for Easter. So give me just a second to get a couple of shares in. Make sure that's off, and then we will get started. So let me share. Okay. So these are super easy. Almost every Dollar Tree that I've been in has these supplies. So just a couple more shares and then we will get started. Share. Post. Awesome. Okay, are you guys ready to get started? So I'm going to bring you guys over here so you can see my crazy amount of Deco mesh. I love Deco mesh. So first thing we need a wire wreath form. So I keep a bunch on hand. They're all going to fall out now, aren't they? I keep a bunch on hand to make these kinds of wreaths. So this is just a black one. You can see it came from the floral section of Dollar Tree. So just a black Deco mesh, black wire wreath form. Now I'm going to bring you over here and we are going to pull out our Deco mesh. That's not Deco mesh. This is Deco mesh. So here is our Deco mesh. So today we want this fun pastel Deco mesh. It's got blue, pink, and yellow in it. You can see this just came from the holiday section at Dollar Tree. So we need 6 of these. I've got 4. Now if I can remember where I stuck the other 2, that would be a miracle. So pull out the Deco mesh. Stick them in here. Nope. Stuck them somewhere crazy. Aha, right here. So 6 rolls of Deco mesh of this fun pastel Deco mesh. You can do it with 4 rolls, but 6 is what makes it look really nice. And then you're also going to want some fun little eggs and some decorative mesh tubing. So I've got the tubing in blue and pink for funsies. Whoop. And now we're going to come back over here and drop all of our stuff on this table. Okay, let me move you guys so that you can see really, really well. Maybe, perhaps, perchance. So this kind of Deco mesh with the 3 colors, I've only ever seen at holidays. But that doesn't mean, you can always, they always have Deco mesh. They have pink and green and blue and stuff all the time. And then you can always get this particular colors at the holidays. So first thing we're going to do is unwrap one of these things of Deco mesh. I like working with the dollar store Deco mesh versus other Deco mesh because I feel like it's shorter. It's not as big of a tube, and I feel like that makes it easier to work with. So we've just got a roll of Deco mesh. See those pretty pastels? Not really super really pastel-y, a little darker than pastel, but then we're just going to take our wreath form. Sit down. Okay, let's pull our tag off our wreath form. So wreath forms come in black and green usually. I prefer the green, but I couldn't get one of those out, so we're using black. Just because the green is just a little bit easier to hide. So when you hop on, let me know where you're hopping on from. I am in the Salt Lake City area of Utah today. So we're going to take our end of our deco mesh. So each of these sections, you see how there's 6 sections? We're going to put one whole roll in each section, which I think makes it look really nice and full. So we're just going to go ahead and start here. You're going to want to start at the bottom. And we're just going to go ahead and tie this on. You can use pipe cleaners to secure that on, but I just don't like having to have an extra material on hand that matches. So I just tie a knot. See? Tie a knot. Easy peasy. And now we are just going to take this, and the first time I ever made a deco mesh wreath, I was so shocked at how easy it was. I always thought they were so difficult. But you just take it and you pinch and you pull through. So, and then, dude, the hardest part of working with deco mesh is it sticks to each other like crazy. So then you do it again, pinch, pull through the next one. Then you do it again. So you're pinching about 3 inches. It's about 1.5 inches if you look at it on each side of the fold. So pinch and pull through. So that's one whole, all 3 levels, and then you're just going to start over again. So I'm going to pinch. My hands aren't working well today. And pull through, and then again, pinch, and pull through the second one. Hoping this black's not going to be too distracting, but we can get it full enough. And then we are going to go ahead and pinch and pull through the top. And you're just going to repeat this until you run out of deco mesh on the roll, for the dollar store rolls anyway. So pinch, pull through the bottom. So how are you guys doing today? Is it spring where you are yet, or is it still winter? We're like halfway in between, it seems like. I can't decide if it wants to be spring or if it wants to be winter. And now tell me this, who did you pick to win March Madness? My husband wasn't feeling well today, so he's home, and he's working, but he's got it all set up so that he can watch the games while he works. So funny. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and pinch that again. So you see how it's getting more full the more that we get this. And Vicki says it's still winter where she is. What state are you in, or area are you in, Vicki? I'm in Utah, and we had a funny winter this year, guys. It just, I don't know, it wasn't super wintry all the time. It had its moments, but just be careful when you are pulling through that you don't pull it through. Don't pull so hard that you undo your work, basically. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull this deco mesh off the roll. I had plans to do this awesome Doctor Who wreath, but I only have like 4 rolls of the right color blue deco mesh, and I just didn't think it would look as good yet, so I gotta track some more down. Okay, so we just keep going until, okay, so that's one whole dollar store roll on there. And I don't usually tie my ends once I've done it the first time because it usually stays just fine. If you're worried about it, go ahead and tie it. Kentucky. I have a friend that lives in Kentucky, and she was posting some crazy snow pictures the other day. Okay, so second roll, unwrap it. So we're just going to move on to the next section. So go ahead and tie that on to the bottom. I try and make the knot as small as possible, using up as small amount of the deco mesh as possible, just so you have more to be fluffy. So tie that on, scoot that over to the edge, and start over. So bend and pull through that bottom part. Pinch, middle, Okay. So, pinch again. Okay, so you're just gonna use your hand and start squishing it to one side. So pinch and through. I really kind of love this tri-color mesh. I've actually never seen it before at the dollar store. So when I saw it the other day, I was like, oh, we're gonna have to do a wreath with that. Okay, pinch into the side. Start again at the bottom, pinch and pull through. So tell me what you guys are reading. Here, I'll hold it up a little higher. Let me see if I can get you guys a little bit lower. Oh, sorry. Sydney, is that better? Okay, so you're pinching. So it's about, you're just a good size pinch and then pull that through. And then you just start over at the bottom. You can see that my daughter dropped popcorn on the floor. I always say I'm never going to let her eat popcorn again in my office, and then she does it and just happens. Okay, so pinch and pull through. You want a good size loop. Okay. Then go into the middle. Pull that through, and then we're just going to work this deco mesh off the roll. We're just about done with this roll. So this actually goes really, really fast. Like I said, the hardest part of deco mesh is that it sticks to everything. I tried making a wreath once wearing a sweater, and that was bad news. Okay. Okay, so there we go. Now we've got 2 sections done. Nice and fluffy, pink and blues and yellows. So now we're going to grab a 3rd roll. Just unwrap that roll. And we are going to go ahead and just pinch that bottom and tie it to our bottom rung. Okay. Go ahead and tie that on. Okay. Now we're going to slide that over towards the other deco mesh, and we're going to pinch and pull through the bottom rung. So pinch, pull through the middle, pinch. I mean, you can make your loops as big as you want them to do. You're just going to run, you know, the bigger your loops, the faster you're going to run out of deco mesh. So mine, I think, are like, what, 6 inches? These are 3 inches, about 3 inches out. Okay, pinch and pull through the bottom. Pinch and pull through the top. When I originally bought this deco mesh, for some reason I thought the colors would come out differently, but more like pinch and pull through the bottom. So you just do bottom, middle, top, and then go back down into the bottom. Hi Sharon, so good to see you from Florida today. How's the weather there? I have a bunch of, my mom grew up in Florida, so I have a bunch of family there. Okay, so now we're in the middle. Like I said, this is where it starts to get just a tiny bit tricky, just because deco mesh sticks to itself. So I think we're going to be able to get maybe one more thing out. Okay, so pinch, pull through the top. And I have just maybe enough for a bottom pinch again. Cool and sunny. That sounds nice. It is a little bit chilly still here. Okay, so there we have got 3 rolls on there. Nice and cute and nice and fluffy. So we're going to go ahead and move down to our 4th roll. So just unwrap that roll. I'm squishing it though. I'm trying not to squish it. Oops. How fun those colors are together. So I've got my 4th roll. I'm going to go ahead and tie this one on to the bottom rung of the next section. So that's what's so nice about these wire wreath forms, that they're in sections. Kind of helps you Make sure everything says nice and fluffy. Hi, Stacy. How's Ontario today? Okay. We're going to go ahead and pinch and pull through. And then the second one, I'm going to say I need a vacation. We've got some coming up. Like none of our whole family though. It's mostly just me going places, but it's always nice because then there's someone home to watch the house. Okay. And then the second section, and pinch, and the third section. Stacy says it's cold. Yeah, it's a little chilly here too. I actually haven't been outside yet, so I probably, shouldn't declare that when I actually haven't been outside today. Okay, pinch and pull through the first section, middle section, last section. I don't think I've ever been to Ontario. The travel bug has hit me this year. We've got all sorts of trips planned. I'm going with my husband to Disneyland next month. My parents live with us, so that's really nice because then they can just watch. My kids don't even have to leave their own house. They've already got adults here to watch them. And then the month after, I'm taking just my kids. My husband is staying to Seattle to see my brother. And then the month after, nope, same month, I'm going with friends to New York for BookCon. So it's going to be super fun. I think that's always like the most stressful part of traveling for me though, is leaving my house alone all by itself. Okay, there we go. There's 4. So that's why I'm really excited about all these trips because it won't be empty, any of them. Okay, so this is our 5th roll, our second to last roll. Just going to go ahead and tie this on. Once again, tie it onto the bottom rung. If you want to use pipe cleaners to keep it on, you can totally do that. I just don't like to, so. So tell me what trips you guys have planned this summer. Are you guys going anywhere? I don't think we're going anywhere in the summer. Like once we're that family that teachers hate who take our kids out of school because it's elementary school and why not? My husband used to be a school teacher, and so every time I'm like, let's just take the kids out of school for 4 days. My husband's like, no. I'm like, it's not high school. They're good. Okay, pinch. And in the middle. Pinch at the top. Pinch on the bottom again. So you just loop. So you just go bottom, middle, top, and then pull it around. Vicky says she's going to her backyard. I'm all about that, Vicky. That is how we usually are. We have a pool in our backyard, which I always laugh so hard about when people put pools in their houses in Utah, because I'm like, you seriously get to use it for like 3 months a year. But we have a pool in our backyard, and that's all the kids wanted. Like anytime I try and take them somewhere else, they're like, we just want to swim. Fine. We just won't go and do anything. We'll just swim. So I'm all about staying home. I'm actually usually quite a homebody. This year the travel bug has just hit me a little bit. And we just have opportunities, I guess. Well, and then this year, so my husband and I have been married 12 years this year, which is nuts out to me. Can't believe I'm old enough to have been married 12 years. But we were supposed to go on a big trip for our 10th anniversary. And then my brother, that's just older than me, got married in a destination wedding. So all of our 10th anniversary trip money went to go to his wedding. There we go. 5. It's looking so good. So all of our 10th anniversary stuff went to go on a trip for his wedding, which was awesome. And I'm so glad we went. My girls were cute little flower girls, and we just adore his wife. So, But my husband, ever since then, has just been a little sad that we never took that 10th anniversary trip. So we are finally going on a 10th anniversary trip for our 12th anniversary. And we're like so funny. So we have all these friends that have been married about the same time that we have. And they're all going to 10th anniversary trips to like the Bahamas and Jamaica and everything. And I was like, so where do you want to go? We can go on a cruise or whatever. And so bottom, so I tied that on. So bottom, this is where it's going to get a little trickier with this last one just because now we have so much deco mesh on there. But just kind of try and keep it unstuck to itself. There we go, middle and top. But so I asked him, I was like, do you want to go on a cruise? Like everyone's going to Jamaica. What do you want to do? And he's just like, I want to go to Disneyland. And I'm like, that's why we're married right there. That's what makes us a good couple. So I'll tell you my favorite story of my husband. If you've watched my show before, maybe you've heard it before, but it's like, I think of this story and I'm like, guys, this is why we're married. This is why I married him. So I read out loud to my girls every single night before bed. And we've been reading Harry Potter. And we're on the third one now, but when we were on the first one, they seriously, every school year, that's all they want. They want to read Harry Potter again. So we've read the first 3 Harry Potters like 4 times. See, now you see how it's getting a little trickier because it's all sticking together. So just use your hand and slide that wreath down. Okay, we're almost done. And then we can embellish it. It's going to be fun. So I was reading the first Harry Potter to my kids, and we got to the part right where the troll's about to come in to the school. And I'm reading, I have no idea that my husband is standing out in the hall, listening, waiting. And I get to the part right where Quirrell runs in to the Great Hall. And he runs in, I'm just about to say troll in the dungeon, and he runs in and yells, troll in the dungeon! Thought you'd like to know, and then pretends to pass out on the ground. Seriously, it was that moment in my life where I was like, yep, married the right person. Okay, so we're going to pull this off the roll. And we are just going to finish this up. Pinch and in there. And then pinch. And that's not even like my first Harry Potter experience with him. Okay, there we go. We've got all the deco mesh on our wreath, so now we can embellish it. So for embellishments, embellishing I think is like, it's totally an art. You have to kind of put things on, take them off, kind of see how it goes. So I've got egg picks. I've got these little foam eggs. I think these are going to work probably better than the egg picks, but my toddler was insistent that the egg picks would be amazing. So then I have pink and blue deco mesh. So we're gonna mesh tubes. So I'm just gonna pull these out, and we are going to, I'm gonna play this up just a little bit. So I have to tell you the story. Okay, so here's our mesh tube. It really is just a mesh tube. You can kind of twist it. I like to just twist them in. So we'll see how that goes. So when my husband and I first started dating, he was a little bit of an awkward person. He didn't have very many serious relationships before he met me. So he had, I don't know, he's super funny, super cute. It's like this little cute 22-year-old boy when we first started dating. Okay, so you're just going to take it and you're just going to wrap. I like to just hold it in my hand and wrap and kind of just let it get set in there. So we've been dating not that long, and we were talking about like serious things that had happened in our lives. And okay, take it and you're just gonna go ahead and wrap. You just kind of, you really want it to set in. So when I was a senior in high school, my grandfather, my mom's dad, passed away. And he lived with us right before he passed away. And there was he was really, he had cancer. So he was in a lot of pain and on a lot of medicine and stuff like that. So he wasn't very lucid most of the time towards the end. Make sure that it doesn't get stuck together on the back too. And there was one really lucid moment, like 2 days before he died, where he grabbed my hand when I was getting him something and said he was so scared to die alone. And I promised him that he wouldn't die alone. So the night that it looked like he was going to go, my mom came in and got me, and she said, hey, if you want to come say goodbye, now you need to come do it now. And I ended up spending the whole night in there with him, holding his hand and everything like that. Just, to make sure he wasn't alone, make sure his greatest fear didn't come to fruition, kind of thing. And so I'm telling my husband, my then boyfriend, this story, and his eyes get super huge. And I'm like sitting there sobbing, because it hadn't happened that long ago. And, I'm sitting there sobbing, telling him the story. And he looks at me and his eyes are wide. And I think he's going to say like something super sweet or something. And he looks at me and he goes, you can see thestrals. And I was like, yep, we're getting married. Like, it's happening. And like now I tell that story to people. And he was like, stop telling that story. I seem like such a jerk. And it was like, no, it was amazing. It was this like total moment of like, you can, like, because he was like so excited about it. Like, it wasn't just like so you see how I'm just wrapping? It wasn't a moment where he was like trying to be a jerk or anything. He was like, seriously, like, you can see thestrals. So Alicia, I don't know how familiar you are with Harry Potter. So thestrals are the creatures that pull the carriages when they get there at the school. Okay, can you see and it sometimes we'll try and like snake together. You've got to kind of try and keep it separate. So thestrals are the things that pull the horseless carriages are actually pulled by thestrals. And you can only see a thestral if you have seen someone die. And so that's why he was like so excited. But it's super funny. Like, every time I tell someone that story, he's like, stop! I sound like a jerk. So now we've wrapped the pink tube. You can't really see the pink tubing very much, so I'm going to go ahead and do the blue tube too. But I just thought it was so funny. Like, when someone is telling you like this very personal story, does Harry Potter come to mind? Because that's not how my brain usually works. Okay. So, you guys watching March Madness? It's like a religion in our house. My husband was at work yesterday and they set up all these monitors so they could watch the basketball games, and so he wasn't feeling well today, so he stayed home to work from home and was like, we gotta figure out how I can watch basketball games. It's like, if it means that much to you, just go to work, my love. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and tie this blue tube onto the back here. And we're just gonna do the same thing again. We're just gonna wrap, we're gonna try and wrap the blue in between where the pink is, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? So, go ahead and wrap. Like I said, the biggest thing is just trying to keep it from all sticking together. And I do like to push it into the wreath a little bit. Hey, Jana. Jana is two awesome things to me. She is my awesome assistant who keeps me sane, and she's also my sister. Okay, so in between the pinks, that was like the hardest thing for me when I was like I got to the point where I was like, okay, I need an assistant. It told me, Jana wants to know how I know how I know she's here. It said Jana Bailey joined. It told me that you joined. But so just go ahead and wrap. Like I said, that Deco stuff just is gonna stick to each other. So just kind of watch. When I was looking for an assistant, I was like, this is not, like, I was so stressed. It's so hard to give up give up control of something you worked so hard on. So that's when I was like, hey, I know you. I trust you. How about I train you? And luckily she was on board. Because she's awesome. Okay. And then bacon stock. Oh, this piece of tubing is not pretty, so we're going to tuck that away. Okay, almost done with the blue tube. I'm going to go ahead and trim this. And then we are going to tuck this in on the back. And I'm going to go ahead, I do tie both ends of the tube. I feel like the tube comes off a lot easier than the... I think like this looks like a little bit crazier colors on the computer than it does in real life. In real life, it's a lot more subtle. Okay, so there we go. We've got our Deco mesh, we've got our tubes. Now it's time for our eggs. So we're gonna go ahead and pop these eggs out. And we're just gonna go ahead and tuck them in wherever we want them. Decide if that looks weird or not. So the Deco mesh, well, I mean, we can go ahead and tie these on with pipe cleaners if we want to. I really like the blues and the pinks and the yellows in here, so I'm not. So maybe I want bigger eggs. I wonder if like actual like eggs that you hide for Easter would make a bit better shape. What do you think? Tell me what you think. Where is these? I wonder if we trim those, if those would look better. Okay, this one is sticking. They're kind of like Easter ornaments. They have little loops on them. Oops, that I just pulled out. That one no longer has a loop on it. So we're just going to go ahead and finish sticking those little eggs in wherever we want them. And the Deco mesh should pretty much hold them in place. Doesn't work for everything. I did it once with fall leaves and that did not work at all. I had to secure those on, but Deco mesh is very grabby. Okay, so tell me what you think. It looks way crazier in the video than it does in person. It's funny. In person it looks like very understated. On the video it looks a lot crazier. So, where did we stick those in? Anyway, so that is the easy way to make a Deco mesh wreath. So that's a fun Easter version. Let me get you closer to it. So fun colors, fun eggs, fun tubing. So I'm Deborah from Housewife Eclectic. If you go up to the description, you can go ahead and give my page a like so that you will be able to see my other shows. So thanks for hanging out with me, and I will see you guys next Friday.